What's good, YouTube land? The Weird Collector here, and this is the DX Ultraman Zero I Neo. It is the transformation device for Ultraman Zero. Now, I could leave it at that, but I am a sickening nerd about these things, so prepare for backstory. So the Ultraman have been around since the 60s, late 60s, okay? And their transformation devices for, like, the thing is about the Ultraman, it's not normally a person transforming, like, gaining a suit of armor like Kamen Rider, or wearing a skin-tight latex like Super Sentai. Basically, the human is a host for the Ultraman's powers, because the Ultramen are basically aliens. From another planet, they're aliens. They need a host to basically survive on Earth. Even with a host, they can't stay transformed for very long. So, basically, the Ultraman transformation devices have always been very simple. Like something handheld that you hold in the air and shout your Ultraman's name and then you transform. And when it comes to Ultra 7, his transformation device was a pair of glasses. A very simple looking red pair of glasses that the human host put on his face, and he transforms into Ultra 7. That was passed down to his son, Ultraman Zero, who I believe is technically the first son of an Ultraman. So he inherited his father's using pair of glasses to transform when his show came out in like 2011, I think? Or no. Ultraman Ginga was 2011. Zero was before Ginga. I think it was something like 2009. Something around that. Early 2000s, or maybe late 2000s. Not 100% sure on my Ultraman scheduling. I briefly looked at it. So, this is the Neo Ultra Zero I, because they had to remold it for the Ultraman, for his appearance in Ultraman Geed to fit the line-wide gimmick, as you can see. It comes with some things that allow him to go even further beyond. That joke was terrible. His original Zero I was a bit thinner than what I'll show you the toy in a second, but it was thinner, it had a hinge, because it was concealed in a wristband, which is really weird, and Ultraman Zero's power-up item was an Ultimate Aegis, which was a wristband, and Ultraman get very weird. But ever since Ultraman Ginga, they moved from very simplistic transformation devices into, hey, we can sell this as a toy to kids, let's make a massive line-wide gimmick, just like Kamen Rider does with the belts and Super Sentai does with the mech, everything, like Power Ranger toys, Everyone always brings it back to Power Rangers and blah, blah, blah. This has been around since the 60s, people. This is the original, one of the original Tokusatsu live-action series, along with Metal Heroes and all that. Right? On the box, you have a picture of Ultraman Zero and Ultraman Zero Beyond. I like Zero's base suit. I like his weapon, basically his horns on his head, because he inherited another thing from his father. Ultra 7's main weapon, the Eye Slugger, was like a tomahawk on his head. Well, it made him look like he had a mohawk on his head. And Zero inherited two Eye Sluggers. I guess there were Zero Sluggers. And Ultraman Zero Beyond has 4. But here's the I find a good picture of it. Here's a good picture of Ultraman Zero Beyond. This suit looks boring! Maybe it's the Transformers fan in me, but there's barely any color here. There's like stripes of what might be purple. He's got some blue gems on his head, and his color timer is blue, but maybe the chest is blue and the lines are purple. Everyone sees purple differently, apparently, but like Zero's suit is color balanced really well. Like it's got blue on the top with some silver armor, and the leggings are red. But when he goes to Ultraman Zero Beyond, it's just straight silver. And maybe, as I said, the Transformers fan in me sees gray as boring. I don't know, it's not a bad suit. It's just, I wish it had more color. But let's get this out of the box so I can shut up. Well, I won't shut up, but you know what I mean. Here's the Zero Eye. We'll take a look at the Ultra Capsules later. It's a very futuristic pair of glasses with a speaker right there. And it's hard to tell, but this is actually yellow plastic. Like when it shines on a bright light, it's easier to see that it's yellow. Like it looks orange just looking at it without the camera frame, like the lens of the camera, but it is actually yellow plastic. I think it's just this orange paint right here kind of, I don't know, really. It's a very confusing color, but you do have streaks of blue and red along with the silver, and on the back, unfortunately, it's just dull gray. You do have a battery port with Sad Pac-Man. I believe it takes two LR44s, and you have some clips for the gimmick. So let's turn on. Let me do that again. There are no lights in this. And you do have a button right here which activates one of two phrases. The first one is not technically a phrase, but it is his transformation jingle. Which goes on for a bit. And then it says basically his signature phrase, which loosely translated means I am Zero, Ultraman Zero. Which he said to Belial when he first fought him in the Ultra Legend movie that I watched some of. But he says it every time he transforms, and the toy just doesn't have the same emphatic emphasis and like loud, bold decree that the character in the show does. But it's just shit. Yeah, it's just those two phrases on repeat. So let's take a look at the Ultra Capsules you get. You get the New Generation Capsules Alpha and Beta, which are comprised of Ultraman Ginga, Ultraman Orb Origin, Ultraman Victory, and Ultraman X. The four main riders that have made up the new generation so far. Not the new generation in wrestling, but the new generation of Ultraman, which started with Ultraman Ginga and has been going since. So, before we deal with the Zero Eye, I wanted to show off the sounds for the capsules by themselves. Or, sort of by themselves. You'll see what I mean. So if you scan these just this way, you get a really long series of transformations. Ultra alive! Ultraman! Ginga! Felt I need to add it there. Ultraman exit. Unite complete. I forget the exact call the X divisor makes. Ultra alive! Ultraman! Victory! 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 And you get what sounds like New Generation Shield. So it basically, it does all 4 transformations, but for some reason it goes Orb, Ginga, X, Victory. I have no idea why it does it in that order when it should do it Ginga, Orb, Victory, X. But if you scan again, we get a long attack sound. You also get a purple LED. Well, alrighty then. You know, I thought Jeed had stupid attack names, but Ginga especially is especially stupid. But yeah, I've watched one episode of Ultraman Ginga so far. I watched the first episode, and it wasn't bad. I didn't mind it. I'm not going to do each capsule individually, because that would take way too long for what we have to do. So you see these. The main gimmick of this is to attach to this to create Ultraman Zero Beyond. So you can see the 2 holes and the clip right there. So it just goes on like this. And you can start scanning to transform. Or any Genkai would I! And you can see the red light turns, the purple light turns into a red. And basically what I said was, loosely translated from Ultraman Zero, was, I don't have limits. Which harkens back to the idea that being the first son of an Ultra means Zero has the potential to be the strongest Ultraman there is. He has no limits. And you can also just... you can still play with this. You can turn it off, but I'm not going to because it would reset the sounds. But we do have one attack for Ultraman Zero. You get his main... shit. You get his main attack, which I can't remember the name of, because I haven't looked it up. So, that would be everything in the box. Is it worth it? to me, yes, it's a... What makes it more worth it is what we're about to do next. But straight out of the box, if you don't have the G riser, you get a transformation item with 2 sound effects, and you get basically a sample of what you would be able to get if you bought the G riser. Now, if you do have the G riser, it is worthwhile purchase because it adds quite more than you expect sound-wise to the G riser. So what we're going to do is we're just going to scan some random Ultra capsules. I'll grab these 4. I'm not going to scan everyone, but I am going to scan certain... Actually, I'm just going to grab them all the ones I have. Let's just start scanning. So let's see what happens when we scan a capsule with Ultraman, like an Ultraman Zero capsule. Like barely any light actually shows up through the glasses. You actually get a phrase from Zero, which Lucy translates as, "I am like Ultraman Zero, the son of seven." So yeah, this adds a bunch of Ultraman Zero's own phrases from other things to the G riser. I had no idea until I started messing around with it. Like maybe it's in the instructions, I just can't read them, but yeah. If we do just say a generic Ultra capsule on its own, we get a random phrase. It's not random because he'll do almost like he does the same phrase for a certain set. It's hard to explain. If I scan Ultraman's capsule, I believe that was actually the same phrase. If I scan Belial's capsule, though... You get a kind of angry phrase. If I scan a Fusion Rise... Oh, I forgot to mention, they've also changed the standby noise when you attach the Zero Eye. It's slightly different. You get a specific phrase for all of the G Fusion Rises. If I scan a Belial Kaiju capsule, you can tell it's yellow plastic by the light blue light going green. In my He says a different phrase. If I do a Kaiju Fusion Rise, It somehow it can't change a green light to anything else. That's yellow and green just don't mesh together, I guess. You get that noise, and I believe that's the same for all of these. I don't remember Thunder Killer, but I got my eye on you. You do get a different sound effect. Let's do... I'm going to do Arc Belial and then Atrocious, just because. I said I wasn't, but I am. Fusion Rise! I skipped over the Fusion Rise. Okay, I'm gonna skip the last one because we've heard every sound that I have so far. So that's everything for the DX Ultraman Zero Eye Neo. It adds a bit of bulk to this. It's a bit heavier with the added plastic. I really like the added sounds. They came as a surprise. The fact that it doesn't take away any sound is really cool, and it adds a new Fusion Rise sound to your collection, and it adds the only capsules that are made of more than one Ultraman, which hilariously stand out in the collection, in my collection, as looking really weird. It's just two Ultramen staring at each other. Is it worth it? For $15, I would say yes. For anything more, probably not. I'd say $15 is a limit for this. But I definitely think you should add it to your G collection if you're a big fan of Ultraman Zero. Thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. And if you think you can take me on, try again in 20,000 years. Keep it weird.